Good morning and welcome to Seattle Unity's live stream Sunday service. It's the fourth Sunday in Advent. I've put up yet another strand of lights, and I encourage you to step up out of your chair. We're going to sing some Feliz Navidad. If you have something to shake, shake it. Or if you have something downstairs to shake that too. And you'll hear this is not David on the piano. This is James Howard. Hello, James Howard. He's our guest accompanist today. Hooray! And a little bit later in the service, you will also hear from our guest soloist, and that is LaVon Hardison, and we've missed her very much. We're happy to have her back. So start with us, Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Let's do that again. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Let's do it again. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, oh, oh, oh. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Let it go really big. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. Yeah, I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Let us pray.
And so I invite you to turn your attention within as we know the truth of our opening statement together. There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence.
Keep going with Feliz Navidad, and we're going to sing it to whoever is at your house right now. So you're singing it to somebody. Maybe your cat. Hey, little gato. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. All right, dance it. Here we go. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Aaron and James. So I'd like to welcome you here this morning on our live stream service, the Sunday before Christmas. So let's join together in our mission statement. We are a welcoming spiritual community, thriving in the heart of Seattle, celebrating, inspiring, and deepening our individual and collective spiritual journeys, and it is so. So I have a couple of announcements before we move to the video announcements, and that is that this Thursday is Christmas Eve, and so we are having a live stream and Zoom candlelighting service so that we can see you and you can maybe interact with us in some way. So you need to be prepared, so go find a special candle for yourself, this week so that you can have it for Thursday, and you can go to the website to find those links. Next Sunday's Burning Bowl, so you're also going to have materials available like paper, pen, and some safe place to burn what you need to release from 2020, because God knows there's a lot that we got to release for 2020. And then also importantly tonight, Diane is going to host a solstice meditation, and you'll need to email her to get that Zoom link, but everyone's meeting from 7 to 8 online, and then there'll be 24 hours of silence. So you can find more about that also on the website. And now here's some more announcements.
Glory to the newborn King, hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
And now I invite you to prepare for a time of silence, of quiet and meditation as we celebrate the solstice that is happening at 2 a.m. Monday morning. One of the definitions or translations of solstice is sun set still, sun stand still. And on some level, let us look at that also as the soul standing still. So I invite you to move into this place of the soul being still, the soul standing still, so that we may deepen and accept and be in this movement that is happening right now, this movement of spirit. So wherever you are, I invite you to prepare for meditation by relaxing, by releasing, taking a deep breath, and entering into that quiet place in the manger of your heart.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye, oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come Oh, come, let us adore Him, Christ the Lord. Come and behold Him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him, Christ
Snow falls softly, gently drifts down. Snowflakes whisper 'neath my window, covering trees, misty white, velvet breeze round my doorstep, gently, softly, silent snowfall. Snow falls softly, gently drifts down. Snowflakes whisper 'neath my window, covering trees, misty white, velvet breeze round my doorstep, gently, softly, silent snowfall, snowfall,
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, James. Yay. So good morning once again. So this is a special time of year like no other. Christmas is on Friday. The solstice is at 2 a.m. Monday morning, late tonight. And, imagine, we've been with the days getting darker and darker, and especially being in Seattle where it just feels like it's kind of dark all day, really. But imagine if you didn't know that the sun was going to return. I mean, it kind of probably freak you out a little bit, right? Every day is getting darker. And what if you thought that this was going to continue forever? So I think the festivals of light like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas and the solstice are here to remind us not to panic, that the light is returning. I think it's also here to remind us that when we are in despair and when things seem horribly dark, that we will not stay there. So the COVID will not last forever. And the good news right now is after tomorrow is the days are going to start getting longer and longer and longer. And eventually it'll be like 10 o'clock at night and the sun will still be out, which is great. So the word solstice in Latin means sun set still. And I believe that sun set still is also a reminder for us to be soul still. Because it is in the stillness, it is in the quiet that we birth the inner Christ. It is that we birth the inner Son. And so as we move into Christmas, we know in unity that what we are celebrating is the birth of that Christ awareness within each one of us. It is the awareness of the fact that we are spiritual beings, and may we awaken to the light of our own true nature. So it is in the stillness and in the quiet that the Christ or the Son, the inner Son, is born. Because when we look at the Christmas story, we recognize that Mary did not give birth in the inn. There was no room at the inn. So she went and gave birth to Jesus in the manger. And, you know, the truth is that this year is different. So normally, how many parties would you have attended by now? Or how many parties would you have attended by now? And so everything is kind of toned down, right? Everything is kind of like backed off, and, you know, we're isolating and being quiet. So in a sense, we're kind of in a manger experience. We are not at the inn. In fact, the inns are closed. The restaurants are closed. And, you know, the birth of the Christ needs to happen in the manger where it's quiet. Mary couldn't have given birth to Jesus in this loud inn. And the truth is that when we seek to find the Christ, the Spirit of God within all of us, in each being, that when we are distracted, when we're in the noise, when we're in the cacophony of life, and it's very difficult to stop and to center and to become still and to hear. So we kind of have a preset manger experience for us today. Because the birth of the Christ needs to be nurtured, and it's difficult to find that in the clatter and noise. So when we take the time to be soul still, I think it is then that we discover ideas and dreams and maybe even a sense of direction that had been previously lost, which leads me to the Christmas star. So in the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 1, we read that Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. And about that time, some wise men from the eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem asking, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him." And they heard the king, and they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. And you know, they found the child, and they brought the gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. So I think there's a lot to learn, just as there's a lot to learn from Mary and the manger. I think there's also a lot to learn from the wise men. Now, the wise men, also known as magi, were most likely astrologers from Persia, and so they would know the significance of the stars. But one of the things that they represent for us is that willingness to follow, you know, whether it's an outer star or an inner star, to follow that point within us that's saying, this is the direction you need to go in. And they didn't hesitate. They didn't say, well, maybe we'll find the Christ child when he grows up. We'll find him later. Or maybe when the weather's better. Or, you know, you can fill in a lot of blanks. And how often do you put off doing something that you know that you love and that you should, by should I mean your soul should, be pursuing? And so there are examples of that, in that they just sort of stepped forward. They took this long journey to discovering and finding that presence of spirit, the Christ child. So Eric Betts wrote, on December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will appear closer in Earth's night sky than they have been since 1226 AD. Astronomers are calling it the Great Conjunction of 2020. The two largest planets in our solar system will appear to almost merge in the Earth's night sky. Now, of course, we live in Seattle, so it's raining and it's cloudy, so the chances that we're going to see it from here are pretty minimal. However, I think maybe by Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, it'll lighten up a little, so maybe they won't be exact, but we'll be able to see them. And I wonder if this is similar to the Christmas star that the Magi saw all those years ago. Because when, from our perspective, when two planets come together, they can appear to be as one star. So maybe that was what the Christmas star was. So many of you know I'm an astrologer, so I'm going to throw a little bit of astrology into this talk because, hey, it's a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. When else can I do it, right? So the truth is that Jupiter and Saturn come together every 20 years. So it's not like, whoa, Jupiter and Saturn have come together. It's like, no, they come together every 20 years. And it's like, 1960, 1980, 2000, 2020, and you can, take it back. But it's always, they're together every 20 years. But what's interesting is that for the last 200 years, every time they have come together in an earth sign, except for 1980, when they slipped into an air sign and then slipped back into earth by 2000. So 1980, it was air. 2000, it was earth again. So what does that mean? So it seems to me that for the last 200 years, there's been a rise in materialism, right? There's this dominion over the earth. We must take dominion over the earth. A focus on money, on lands, on consumerism, and even kind of this weighty, I see it with possessions. You know how you inherit things from your parents, and what I see with younger generations are like, I don't want any of that stuff. It's like, what do you mean? It's like your great-grandmothers. I don't care. They don't want it. But so there's this material consciousness. So what's happening now is that tomorrow marks the movement of Saturn and Jupiter into an air sign in Aquarius for the next 200 years. So this isn't just any kind of ordinary Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. This isn't any kind of an ordinary solstice for us. This is a step into a new way of viewing the world. So what is air? Air represents an exchange of ideas, communication, education, rather than physical, like books, it's digital, right? So it's more of an air thing. And you can even see how we sort of stepped into an air consciousness in 1980 with sort of the advent of computers, desktop computers, or computers that were bringing in word processing. So that's communication, right? And so those of you who are alive then, do you remember how big those computers were? I used to run it was called the Videc. It was one of the very first computers, and this thing was humongous. And so you get this image of the Earth, this humongous computer, but air is starting to step in, this communication, this way of communicating or transcribing starts to change. And so we have seen, too, that over the last, since 80, we've seen this movement toward air, so that to this point, it's like this still represents Earth in a way. And I wonder, as we continue to move into air, will we even be able to release this and just kind of, I don't know, I don't have the imagination to go in that direction. But you can see it with the younger generation. So whereas the Earth is more heavy and grounded and rooted, the air is more light, if you will. So the solstice and the conjunction mark the crossing of the threshold into a new way of being in the world. And that's why I think it's important to be intentional, to be prayerful, to be conscious. And so I really do invite you to join Diane tonight at 7 o'clock to help set an intention for not only your coming year and life, but for what's unfolding for us over this next period of time, the next 200 years. So the wise men brought gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And gold can symbolize the soul. And myrrh, because it's an ointment, the preciousness of life. And the frankincense, incense, which is kind of like the fragility of life. And if we have learned nothing else during COVID, is how fragile and how precious life is. In James chapter 4, we read, "You do not even know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." And so we're sort of living in that world right now, aren't we? Where so much and so many people are crossing over to the other side. So we take these elements of this Christmas story and we ask ourselves, so how is it that I can emulate, that I can use this as a roadmap for myself? And the first is to follow in the footsteps of the wise men and ask, what is it that is driving me? What is my North Star? What is it that's calling me out of my life, my reality, whatever it is that I know? What is it that will expand and send me on a journey? And at this point, the journey needs to be an inner journey, because you're not going anywhere in an outer journey too much. So we're called to that place where we follow the wise men who didn't hesitate. They didn't say, I'll wait till he's older, I'll wait till the weather is better. Now is the time for each one of us to do our spiritual work, to follow our passions and our joys in life. We follow the Christmas story with Mary. And this year we've all been barred from the inn, from the loudness and the noise and the lights and the crowds. And we have been asked to go to the manger of our hearts, to go to the place that is silent and quiet as the sun sets and stands still, so that the soul stands still. So whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or just in the next 24 hours, I always believe that during the solstice, there's almost like a portal that's open. Not a real portal, but, kind of a psychic, cosmic portal. And I believe it's an opportunity for us to drop our prayers and to set our intentions into this energy field. So we take advantage of the fact that we're not attending parties, that we get to escape that activity this year, because it is in the stillness and in the silence that we find the inner Son, the inner Christ. And I'd like to close with a poem by Dr. Sudhir Tangya, and it's called The Poem on Divine Light. The divine light is showered on us all, to dispel negative thoughts, not to curse. Apathy, anger, hate, lie, ego, and guilt are all washed away for grace to be built. The divine charismatic light impinged to heal disease, COVID, disorder, disaster, and miserable feel. All truth, light, nectar restore inner bliss. As divine light sparks cross press. Divine light, propelling truth love, has to kindle from one soul to soul for them to mingle, far spread of wave of life in divinity, understanding human to God, relation in reality. The divine light energizes all soul humanity for growth, grace, and glory via spirituality. Aspire to become from human to superhuman when divine blessing is overhead to sustain. And so as sun stands still, so right now, soul stands still. As we cross over into a new expression and a new perception of the world, from materialism to ideas. And it is for this awareness that we are truly grateful. Amen.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly, moon on the wing. These are a few of my favorite things. When a dog bites, when a bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember those favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Girls in white dresses, blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly, moon on the wing. These are a few of my favorite things. When a dog bites, when a bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember those favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad, so bad, so bad.
Levon. Yay. So we have Lee Marie joining us remotely, and she is going to bless the offering for us. So Lee Marie, are you there? Can you see us? Hi, Lee Marie.
Hi. Hello, Karen.
It's so
Hello,
nice to
Seattle
see you.
Unity.
Hi, you look
Likewise.
beautiful.
Thank
Where
you.
are you? What part of town?
I am in Seattle, downtown
Where?
Seattle.
Downtown. Okay, well,
Yeah,
we're
Enrique's
downtown
here,
too.
so say hi. Oh, he doesn't
All
want
right.
to say hi.
So Lee Marie is going to bless our offering. So Lee Marie, I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right. We have come to that moment in our service where we practice the law of giving and receiving through generosity.
Mother of good counsel.
So we somehow got interrupted with something, and that's one of the experiences when we're live, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to wait a moment and see if we can get Lee Marie back, and if not, I will bless the offering. This is a whole new world. So that was Patricia who got on, yeah? Okay, all right. All right, well, it comes to our time in the service where we share our tithes and our love offerings, and we are so grateful for your generosity and for your continuous gifts as we continue to provide services and continue to pay our bills. So any gift that you can give us is so greatly appreciated. There's a number on the screen that you can type in to text to give. But however you're giving, I invite you to stop right now. Hold the gift in your mind. Hold the gift in your heart. As we know, I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness, and I receive with gratitude. And again, you can give through text or you can go to the website. However you give, we are blessed by you, and we're grateful for your joining us this morning in consciousness, in prayer, and in love. And it is so. Amen. So before we close with our prayer for protection, we take a moment to bless those who have requested prayer. And I'd like to begin for a moment to just hold our thoughts with Colette and with Ishwara. Both have made their transitions within the last couple of days. And so we see them in the light. We see them going forward and moving in spirit, knowing that your life cannot end with the body, but the life continues. So we also hold in prayer. We hold Christine and Mary, recognizing that every cell of her body is just filled with healing energy. And we know this for Dan and for Stacy, for Chris and Nancy. And whether you know them or not, I want you to hold each person in your heart. We bless Craig and hold him in our hearts, and Blair and Gary and Carla, and anyone else right now who comes to your mind. I invite you to hold them in your heart or to even speak the names aloud just for a moment. And so we affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let's sing a closing song together. And I think the reason that we had that problem, so I want to say thank you to Lee Marie, but also Patricia Flores, who was trying to call in, was that our service ran a little bit longer than usual. It wasn't Patricia's fault, and it wasn't Lee Marie's fault. Thank you, and bless you, all congregants who are trying to do these remote in things. It's never your fault. It's always ours, and we adore you. So we're going to keep trying to work that stuff out. But for right now, let's sing together. If you are with some other people whose hands you could safely hold, please go ahead and do that. If not, hold them in your heart as we sing All Is Well together. And try and really claim that idea of all is well, and then we're going to let it go. Here we go. All is well, and I am grateful. All all is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful, yeah. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I